Hey, what is up everybody? How are you guys doing? My name is Brian with Bluefoot Homestead. I'm gonna bring a little bit of a different video to you today. Thanks for checking this video out, by the way. It's gonna be on firearms. I know it's a little bit of a touchy subject on certain YouTube videos and monetization and getting the fear of getting kicked off or not making a whole bunch of money like a lot of these YouTube channels do. Fortunately, I don't make any money doing this. Right now, I don't really care to make any money doing this. I'd rather kind of speak my mind and say what I want to say. If I get kicked off, I get kicked off, but it is what it is. But I want to talk about firearms, mostly in the sense of self-defense and kind of the everyday thing. Now, I kind of do a homesteading / prepping channel. It's been really kind of leaning towards the prepping part of it because the world's pretty freaking crazy right now. So that's kind of where my mind is right now. It's also going into winter time. Homesteading kind of slows down a little bit. There's not as much to talk about, not as much action going on. It's actually pretty dang chilly. I'm out here in just my socks. I kind of made a mistake on that. I should have thrown some shoes on, but temperatures are dropping in the Ozarks. We had a couple days this last week where it was down into the 20s, which is pretty dang cold. Right now we're getting a front coming through. It is actually raining outside. I can hear it. You probably can't hear it on the video, but it's got a metal roof and a hollow rafter area, so it's kind of, hear the ting 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 on the roof. It's pretty cool. I love it. But what follows that is going to be cold weather, so we got some cold weather coming. The leaves are already gone off all the trees and stuff like that, which is kind of sad. It's kind of weird. I almost hit a little depressing point when all the leaves drop and it's just twigs and sticks and stuff like that, but I'll get used to it. I will get used to it. So anyway, I want to talk about self-defense and firearms today. I kind of want to show you. Now, this isn't my best holster setup, but I'm going to switch hands so I can focus. Yeah, it's not really holding much of a focus, but I'm going to put it in my comfortable hand. This is my little Cricket. I like this gun. It is fun to shoot. I also hate this gun because it's not fun to shoot. So refocus on me. It's a 1.5 inch barrel, I guess, almost a snub nose. You can get a look at it. Snub nose 357 with a 2-finger grip down here, right? This little bastard kicks, okay? I also kind of want to point out, because it's going to be a little bit relative to the first thing that I'm talking about. This gun is loaded. There we go, it didn't lock in. It is a Taurus, so it does have a couple issues to it, but it is locked in right now. Now, this is a loaded weapon. I feel completely comfortable showing you this loaded weapon and not killing my cat, okay? It's not that hard. You get a lot of these YouTube guys that will sit here and take their gun halfway apart. You know, they'll say, okay, I'm starting out because I am being safe and I am a responsible gun owner, that this is an unloaded weapon. And I'm going to go ahead and cock it back and show you and make you look down the barrel to show you again that this is an unloaded weapon. Who the hell cares? Personally, I believe if you are not knowledgeable and safe enough with a weapon to handle a loaded weapon without killing your cat, you need to either sell your weapon or get some training, okay? If it offends the viewer on the other side of the video for some weird, crazy reason, living 2,000 miles away, sitting in their living room where that bullet will never reach them, or if they fear that they're going to be harmed in some way for watching a YouTube video, you know, I don't even know where I'm going with that, but you get the idea. So, if you're new to firearms, if you are, here's my wet P word. She's all wet right here. I was going to say it, but I don't think it's necessarily appropriate, but my wet cat. And they've been hunting tons of mice lately. They've been pretty good little mousers. But anyway, back to the subject. She'll probably jump up on the table again. If you're new to it, if you're a rookie to it or anything like that, and you do not feel safe handling a loaded weapon, definitely go get some more training. Get some range time if you have had training or anything like that. But kind of start at the basics. Definitely know how to break your weapon down, know how to clean your weapon, know the parts of your weapon, know how to get your barrel out, your springs, and definitely your clip and your clip release and, you know, different things like that. I'm not talking about a revolver, but with the polymer pistol, centerfire pistol. Know it, because I think it's kind of almost comical that so many people have to prove their safety to somebody. But you should be able to walk around with an AR-15 in your hands, loaded with the safety off, and not have to worry, not have to worry about something completely stupid like that happening. And I hear people talk about, oh, well, a string can catch your trigger and pull the trigger and kill a baby. Don't have things with strings on it. You know, it's not really that hard. The accidents that happen, oh, it went off when I was cleaning it. Impossible. You know, I mean, no, it went off because somebody, most likely the person that is guilty in that situation, pulled the trigger. There's no real way around it. I mean, with a revolver like this thing's got like a 20-pound trigger on it. Double action, I can cock it back and it's probably a 10-pound trigger. But to pull this in a double action sense, just right here, pulling the trigger and firing this weapon off, takes a whole lot of conscious effort. Back in the day when a lot of these, before the polymer pistols got real big, there were steel ones and stuff like that all the way back to 1911. But a lot of them were with revolvers. When people were claiming that I was just cleaning it and it went off, you know, no. So definitely, if you are new, learn how to break it down, learn all the components of your weapon of choice. Go to an instructor, take some classes. Just take some regular self-defense 101, pistols 101, whatever. They're going to get you a little bit of range time. They're going to get you familiarized with the gun. They're going to get you to know how to draw and get into a situation. They are going to get you a lot more comfortable with handling a weapon and doing those things. So definitely good. Do that. Once you get that taken care of, go drop hundreds of dollars on some cheap target ammo, range ammo, and get to a range. Get some lead going down the aisles. That is going to be some of your best experience. You need to get used to the recoil. You need to get used to that popping sound. You need to get used to somebody shooting a freaking hand cannon right next to you and realizing that, okay, that's okay. And, you know, anticipation. Get rid of the anticipation of that twitch to try to counteract the kickback of the gun. Just get some range time. Get comfortable with whatever you buy. Don't buy it and put it away. You know, I keep my weapon loaded. I keep all of my weapons loaded all of the time. Most of them I have a safety. I buy my semi-autos with a safety because I like a safety. I got to check on this cat. All right, so we just got some cat food for our cats, and it was still sitting over on the porch right there, and yeah, they ripped a hole into it and were almost climbing into it, just sitting here munching down on food. So I gave them some food real quick, took care of the situation. So yeah, you know, just starting out, get familiar with everything, get comfortable with everything, and then it kind of comes back to being able to handle a loaded weapon without a worry, without a cause. Now, am I saying go wave one around kids or anything like that? No. Use common sense. Don't be a dumbass. Don't brandish it in bad spots and things like that. Mostly it just kind of boils down to don't be a dumbass. Now, if you live in a state to where they're communist and they don't want you to have weapons and you have to put your weapon in a box, put your ammo 75 feet over on the other side of the house, put your box into a safe, put your safe into a gun vault, and ship it off to Malaysia. So you're safe about it. You got to do what you got to do. I'd highly suggest maybe moving to a better place, because that would really suck. But if you have the ability to carry with you, if you have the ability to keep your weapon loaded, I highly encourage it. Obviously, if you have kids or you have anybody that's unstable or anything like that, use common sense. Don't be a dumbass about it. But if you're able to be ready at any time that you possibly can, as fast as you can, you're going to be better off. Now, that kind of brings me up to the second point that I wanted to bring up is a self-defense gunfight. Now, most gunfights, whether it's in your house, whether it is in a public area or anything like that, happen in 1 or 2 seconds. By the time you realize that you need to defend yourself, it's already game over. So, I mean, you see somebody just kind of back up like that, done. That's it, they're pop. You know, a lot of people appendix carry, and it just kind of reminded me, there was this one video that I just watched. It was deep in the ghetto. And there was a little skirmish between like 2 guys and 5 guys or something like that. And they're kind of wrestling and stuff, and the guy just kind of stepped over a little wall, pulled his shirt, pulled his gun, pop, pop, and he was gone. And the whole thing happened 2 seconds, maybe. So even if it was anybody, a Navy SEAL, police officer, anybody with the highest level of training on the receiving end of that bullet, they're going down. They're going to be shot, maybe fatal. If you're in a situation where you're wearing body armor or something like that, you know, you're probably going to be okay if it's a center mass shot. Most people in a situation with adrenaline, they're not going to sit there and aim and hang on a second, where is it? Okay, pop, there we go. No, they're just going to stick it and basically not even look, stick it in the basic direction in a couple shots or dump a clip or something like that. So bullets are going to be flying everywhere, hitting arms, all kinds of stuff. So the whole situation, there isn't a lot you can do in that situation, to be honest. If you're able to be lucky enough to have those bullets miss, 1 or 2 or 7 or 15, you know, you're able to get down and draw your weapon. And if you have the capability of rationally thinking in a situation like that, over your adrenaline, over your fear and things like that, you may be able to take care of the situation, especially if the guy's coming back around. If that was just a way for him to get away and he still wants to take your life or take somebody's life that you're close by, or whatever the situation is, that a self-defense situation would be justified, you may be able to do that. That takes a lot of training. That takes a lot of mental training to be able to do that. Your police officers and things like that, they train extensively in those situations. I actually got a little bit of training through the sheriff's department, situational self-defense and stuff like that. And I was really surprised on how quick things can go bad, how quick you can actually fail in that situation to be able to defend yourself with a pistol. We did pistol and 12-gauge shotgun on that training, and it was basically situational awareness, which I'll get to in a second. Basically on a small movie screen, and you are analyzing the situation and what's going on who might be the threat and things like that. And then basically that, boom, that trigger. Okay, well now guess what? You have a hammer upside your head, you know, and you're down, you're dead, you're out. Go to the back of the line. We'll try it again. So the people that, I didn't have extensive training. I did have training, but the people that have extensive training are a lot more capable of saving lives, saving their own lives, diffusing a situation, or worst case scenario, putting somebody down. Situational training, situational awareness is going to be one of your best possible defenses to staying alive in a situation where you may not otherwise stay alive. You've heard me say it before that knowing what's coming up, or not knowing what's coming up rather, is the biggest fear of most people. Not knowing what is around the corner, not knowing what is in the dark, not knowing what is going to happen to you when you get put in jail. As I used in an example earlier in a different video. So the more you can know going into a situation, the more you can be ready for something, the more you're going to be able to react and think rationally in that very stressful situation. So if you see somebody coming in, you see somebody in a convenience store sitting off to the side doing this, you know, it's kind of obvious. I mean, you obviously know what's going on, you know, something's up. Most people that don't think about that are just going to pay for their candy bars and turn around and walk right past the guy and not even think twice or anything like that. But if you're situationally aware and you're paying attention to these big signs and red flags that pop up, you know, you might be able to kind of, I want to grab a bag of chips, you know, just talk to yourself, say it to yourself, say it to whoever you're with, or yeah, let's go see if they have those things. Come here, you know, just get out of the situation. Then you'd be able to come around and maybe be able to save a person's life, or possibly get yourself into a position to where if they were to come around the corner after you, you might be able to defend yourself. It's all about paying attention. It's all about knowing what's going on. Almost anybody that's about to commit a crime is looking around. They're making sure the people that see them or don't see them are their best case scenario. They're looking for law enforcement. They're looking for anybody that's armed. So conceal carry. See, I carry a small revolver. You can't really tell that I'm carrying. You can't tell that I have a hand cannon on the side of my hip right here. I'm just in a t-shirt. So definitely conceal carrying is the best thing. I used to open carry a lot, but I've been conceal carrying a lot more. Even with a larger pistol, throwing a hoodie on or a jacket or something like that lets me do it. So yeah, definitely being situationally aware is one of the best things you can do. One of them. The best thing you can do is avoid the whole situation altogether. Don't put yourself into those situations. Don't go armed to a heavily high intensity Palestine rally or something like that, or any sort of emotional rally that you might not be on the right side of the game. Just don't put yourself into these situations. I'm not saying don't go out and live, don't go out, you know, definitely live your life, normal life. But if you have the chance to absolutely get away from something completely, definitely do it. There was a time I was back in my early days when I used to think I could dance and things like that. I used to go to a lot of dance clubs and nightclubs out in Phoenix. And we just got to one. We had a whole car full of people. It was good and fun. Driving around the parking lot looking for you know, a place to park. Normal type situation. Heard a pop. And I was thinking, that didn't sound like a normal situation. Started hearing some people screaming. Started realizing this was happening right in front of me. And there was a guy that came out, sounded like a 9mm or something like that, fairly small. Then I heard a couple more gunshots. Realized he was on the left side of the road, looking the other direction. People were running this way, people were running this way. I had a little bit of a gap, ducked my head down, stomped it to the floor. Didn't even really look and see if I was going to hit anybody. Got the hell out of there. I don't remember if I was armed on that day or not. Probably not, because I was with some friends and going to nightclubs and stuff like that. And actually nightclubs back then, they didn't search you or anything like that. You could bring a gun in, no problem. It's before the world went to hell, and this was actually an issue. No such thing as these mass shootings. But anyway, besides the point, I got out of there. I avoided the situation. Now, would I have done the same thing if I was armed? Yeah, I would have. Most definitely, because really, I don't want to shoot anybody. I really don't want to shoot anybody. I don't want to take a life. But if I have to do this for whatever reason, I think I'm ready to do it. That's an absolute worst case scenario. I remember listening to a lawyer, and he was saying, you have to think a little bit. Think about this one thing before you pull your weapon and pull that trigger. Is pulling that trigger going to be a better choice than spending the rest of your life in prison? And that always kind of stuck with me because, I mean, it's really true. Because most likely you're going to be spending 15 years to life in prison if you pull that trigger and take somebody's life. Doesn't matter what you're thinking. Doesn't matter if you think it was the right thing to do. Most likely that's going to be the outcome. If you have a really good lawyer, if everything went absolutely perfect in the situation to your benefit, you might walk. But most likely you're getting some time, you're getting, a homicide or murder, first, second, third degree, whatever. So the absolute best thing to do is just get out of the situation. Even if I was armed that one night, get out of there because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to rot in prison. So the reason I carry is the absolute last ditch effort to save my own life or somebody that's around me or close to me in that immediate situation that they are about to lose their life. And not even serious bodily harm necessarily, but it depends on the situation. That's kind of a gray area. Yeah. So, that's kind of why I carry. So to kind of back it up a little bit, definitely if you're an experienced person, some of these things might not apply to you, but maybe you can get something out of it. But definitely if you're new to firearms, if you just went out and bought one, if you're thinking about buying one, I'm going to walk it backwards a little bit. I'm going to walk it backwards all the way through this whole thing real quick and sum it up. If you don't have to pull the trigger on something or somebody, if you don't have to take a life, avoid it at all costs. Definitely pay attention to what's going around. Pay attention to weird things that are going on. The more you do it, the more you start realizing. I'm a people watcher. I'm an introvert. I go out to nightclubs and stuff like that. And a lot of the time, I'm the purse watcher, AKA. So I just like chilling out and watching people, watch how people act, watch people on their phones, just watch people. People are fascinating. I like watching them more than talking to a lot of people, but you learn things as you watch people. So the more that you are situationally aware, the more knowledgeable you're going to be. The more you're going to be able to spot little things, little nuances that are not normal. That all comes through training. That's something that you can train yourself very easily to do. Just pay attention. Just watch a lot of people. Watch crowds. You go to big events and stuff like that. It's very good to just kind of watch. And a lot of people, when they talk about this, they're like, don't be obvious about it. Don't be, staring people down. And obviously don't stare people down. That's only going to create more conflict most of the time. But, if you can kind of just look at somebody and, yeah, I know you're there. And then just kind of go about your own thoughts and just look around. A lot of people look around. Coming from the world of introverts, a lot of people look around. But get some training, get some time, get comfortable with a weapon, and again, get comfortable with handling a loaded weapon. You should never be afraid of handling a loaded weapon. So I am going to get it back in. I'm going to get a different system. But learn your weapon, learn it inside and out. Just overall, the whole first part of it is just getting comfortable. Get comfortable through training, get comfortable through range time, get comfortable through breaking your weapon down, handling your weapon, and again, don't be doing dirty, hairy draws in front of the mirror and stupid crap like that. Don't be a dumbass about it. Use common sense, and guns are safe. When it comes down to, somebody making sure everything's clear and to make sure that the YouTube politically correct world is okay with his decisions on handling a weapon in the most safe of all ways. I don't even know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought, but I kind of laughed at myself. But definitely get comfortable with it. If you're comfortable, you're going to have less chance of being a dumbass. If you're afraid of handling a loaded weapon or anything like that, that's when stupid shit happens. If you're nervous about something, that's when stupid shit happens. So just get comfortable with it. Get out, get some range time, buy a few $100s and some rounds. This weekend, go out shooting. It's a good time. and it's going to get you a better off situation for being a gun owner. So hopefully something came out of this for you. Hopefully maybe somebody with a little bit of experience might think about something different. Oh, something else I definitely wanted to talk about. Got a little bit of knowledge about this. Be wary of these tactical guys that tell you whenever you get a gun you need to learn how to clear a room. That's complete bullshit. Be wary of guys that tell you that you need a 17 round capacity PPK, LMG, whatever. This is a 5-shot revolver. It's easily concealable. It is very comfortable to carry. Definitely the most comfortable gun I've ever carried. I've carried large revolvers and full frames for the most part. I'm thinking about getting a single stack, but in that close range, in a couple seconds, pop, pop, that's about all you need. If you can go pop, 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 you're pretty good. The conflict is over 99% of the time. Now, if the conflict comes back to you, you might have an issue and more rounds might be better, speed loaders, different things like that. So anyway, starting to rant. I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully maybe somebody gets something out of this video. That would be awesome. Hit that like button. That would be pretty cool too. And until the next one, my toes are frozen right now. I will talk to you guys later, and peace.